an award-winning publishing house with over a dozen books and a roster of more than 50 writers and poets included in the works of Beatlick Press. Pamela graduated summa cum laude from Tennessee State University with a bachelor's degree in communications. Please help me welcome Pamela Hirst.
Well, first I want to say that I honestly believe that this is one of the most prestigious writing groups, and I am in this area, and I am completely honored and privileged to be here, and thank you so much for having me. So self-publishing, why do it?
Eat the mic.
Excuse me?
Eat the mic.
You have to be very close to the
Oh,
mic.
eat the mic. Oh, okay. Because I do have a big mouth. Okay, so Kim. So this is our motto, and books are like angels, moving between the living and the dead. And that was Beatlick Joe Spear, born and raised here in Albuquerque, died and buried right here in Albuquerque. I call him the Jack Kerouac of the Southwest, and he is a treasure for this area. And this is our staff, and I believe that some of you are familiar with Jules Nyquist, who gave a lecture here not too long ago. Deborah Coy and Carol Moscript and I were the original press. They were with me the night Joe died. They sat with me with his body when we waited for the morgue and coroner to come and get him. And that is our bond. And Joe worked on his book for 20 years. He found out he was going to have pancreatic cancer, and he died within 10 weeks of diagnosis. So when I found out he was going to die, I said, honey, we've got to get your book published. And Gary Brower from All Pais Review gave us a place to live. At the time, we were living in a van, and helped me get the first proof up. Deborah gave us a place to live until Joe did die. So that's how our staff got started, and then we were so fortunate to get Jules on board, and now our media liaison, Paul Sievertson. And so originally, Beatlick Press is a segue from Beatlick News, a poetry and arts newsletter. Jim and I published that on the road for 22 years. It was called A Gem of the Underground Press. And we uphold the literary principles of Beatlick Joe. And these are the books, and actually I did this PowerPoint about 6 weeks ago, and we've got 2 more books just since this came out. But these are the books in the sequence. And Kim, you can hit that again. And these are our finalists and our winners, and I would encourage all of you, it's expensive, but you know, get your books into these contests. New Mexico, Arizona Book Awards is, I think it's a great thing. And this was our winner. That's Deborah Coy with the La Llorona anthology that was #1 in the anthology department for 2013 for New Mexico, Arizona Book Awards. Next. So, what happened to publishing? This is a lot of this text is from my senior paper from 1998, but believe me, it's just as timely and true today. And the majority of these facts were from a television program where a editor out of one of the major publishing houses, but I had to remember all this, that paper is in an attic in Nashville, Tennessee somewhere, so I've had to synopsize. But basically, what happened to the publishing industries during the Reagan administration? I'm sure you all remember that they changed all the FCC changed all the rules about monopolies, and that allowed Rupert Murdoch to come into America, and he and other people as well. And as you know now, everything's a big conglomerate, and they own the radio station, they own the newspaper station, they own the magazines, they own the television programs, the movie houses. And so the people in the publishing industry before 1981, they honestly could limp along on a profit of about 4%. And out of that 4%, they would still publish other books that they deemed worthy and of good literature, even though they didn't expect to make a lot of money out of it. But what happened is when all this conglomeration came together, then the publishing company was pressured to start making the same kind of profits that television made. And that was more up like 12%. So that's where you just got to lowest common denominator, personality books, and that whole little thing of publishing worthy books because it's good literature. No way. That's all over and done. And so now the odds of being picked up by an agent and published by a major publishing house are steeply stacked against all of us. But you can be realistic and, but still get out there and try. And if you've got to self-publish, so be it. And I understand now, I think there's a new top 10 self-published book list. Is anybody familiar with that? Is that the same as the people that do the New York presses with the top 10? But I think it's wonderful. Next slide, please. So why do you want to publish? There's a lot of reasons: money, idealism, truth-telling, chronicles, documentation, legacy, organization, family history. Now, if you're publishing for money, I'm not really your person. The Corrales guy, the fabulous, I know his lecture was terrific. And I publish out of idealism, and because little motto down here, writers with something to say, and I do it to keep Joe's memory alive because he was such an outstanding person. But I'm going to pass these two books out because really the books I am the most proud of are books that aren't for sale. They're not distributed anywhere. They're in people's homes. And this is when I was going through grief counseling. What I did, there was about a dozen, I guess, people, 12, 15 of us in that group. And I got the people to write about the person that they had lost. It was a 13-week program. This thing goes on all the time. It's called Grief Share. But my little group is the only one that ever published a little book, a little anthology. So, nobody's going to make any money off of this. But when I go into their homes, this is sitting someplace prominent on a fireplace next to a picture of their loved one. It's very touching. So I'm going to pass these out and we'll talk about them later. And so let's go here a little bit. There's as I say, if you're publishing money, I'm not really the one to be talking to you, but idealism and truth-telling, and there's just so much to be chronicled. Perhaps your neighborhood, your family, your history, or, I encountered this group, and there was just so much poignancy and so much truth, and poetry within that. So next slide, please. So let's have a reality check about the money. And most of my facts are off of the Voker. You go to Voker to get your ISBN number so many times. Most self-published books on CreateSpace.com, Amazon.com is about 150 copies. And so there's like 350 new print titles were published in 2011, and 200,000 of them were published by self-publishing companies. Print book publication by small presses increased more than 74% between 2006 and 2011. Now, I feel like I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, as so many of you, I don't think anybody here is like not interested in publishing, but anyway, so 60% more self-published works in 2011, in 2012 and 2011. So you can see there is a movement out there. But where are you going to fit in? Join an organization just like this and find a mentor. And support art. And don't wait for the art to support you. If you have a story that needs telling, if you have a truth that needs to see the light of day, then you put your money where your mouth is. Put up or shut up. Because if you will get together with a few other people, you are going to find it is embarrassingly cheap to self-publish these days. It's, if you have any knowledge at all on the computer, it's pretty simple. And this is something I have a real problem with. The Supreme Court recently decided that money is free speech, and it's enabled a glut of financial influence in American politics like never known before and unlike anything else done in any other free country in the world. This political commercialism is unique to our nation, has resulted in a media rife with propaganda, and I'm telling you, it is hard to find the truth anywhere. You have really got to dig for it. So it is the responsibility of the populace to tell the truth, and I honestly believe that now. We're going to have to get out here and tell these stories ourselves, because mainstream media is not going to do it. If there's not a 12% profit in it, it's not going to happen. So imagine our country without self-publishers like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Paine. And put your money where your mouth is, publish or perish. And you know, if you're working on a family history, things like this, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think it's so important to leave a legacy for your descendants. Leave a record of an annual family reunion. Tell the story of your grandparents. Document the old neighborhood. I just got finished publishing a book for this woman who is diabetic, blind now, and it was really kind of a rush to get it published before she died. But this is a book she channeled, she says, and she when she could still see to write a little bit, and it was really gratifying, you know, to see. I mean, it really kind of kept her going. It really kept her going. But there is so much just within our own families, in our own neighborhoods, so much that deserves to be told. And if you don't tell it, it's not going to happen. Next. And as I say, self-publishing is more affordable than ever in history, and the more you know, the less it's going to cost. If you can create a Word document, how many of you are fairly proficient on a computer, can write a, you know, you can set up something in Microsoft Word, and find mentors and memberships to add to your knowledge, and create a joint project, because I think the more energy that's in it and the more people are involved, I think the better the project becomes. Next. And join organizations of like-minded people. As I say, I'm preaching to the choir here, but find a mentor. If you want to publish a book and you're kind of I was lost. I had no idea how to publish a book. And I went to Gary Brower, and he was my mentor. And so just get out there and learn as much as you can, and just start. Just get out there and start, and don't talk about it or worry about it. Get out, join an organization, and get going. Turn your computer on and start writing. And if you intend to sell in the 21st century, you will need a book available in all media formats. Now, I'm a little slow on the upbeat on this right now because I don't have Joe's book as an ebook. I fully intend to. I do have a website, and that's going to be, that is the wave of the future. So when you're thinking about your book, kind of try to think beyond and make sure that you're going to have it if at all possible. And if you find mentors and work together, you'll manage, you'll do it, but you're gonna want a website. And you're gonna want that out on the ebook, and that is the future, and I want to be on top of it. I don't want to be an old fogey. I want to be doing it the right way. Next. So these are just some of the kind of layout. This is